Fraser.
Good evening, Pridey.
So let's start by looking ahead to tonight's action then. It is a lovely evening for a game of football, but it's going to be an intense football match with Sunderland, Barnsley. I mean, is it now, and I've been speaking to fans about this as well, so you'll hear from them a little bit later, is it now an all-out assault on trying to qualify for Europe, or is it simply kind of, they're up, they've stayed up, so enjoy your football, see what happens?
I think there's a mix of both, actually. I've spoken to quite a few fans who say that the club's not ready yet to go into Europe. And I've spoken to others that really want a push to get into Europe this season. It's hard to generalise, but I think it's probably a 50-50 split amongst fans as to what they now want to see. But I mean, the main thing is that they're safe, they're in the Premier League next season. Everybody can enjoy the last games of the season, and I think what they did show at Villa last week was that they've not given up. They're not on the beach. They fought at Villa in what has turned out to be extreme circumstances, because basically every single defender and both the goalkeepers were ill and quite badly ill. But at breakfast, I'm told in the morning, when Regis Debris asked for a hands up of who was available to play, they all put their hands up.
Yes.
So I think it's quite interesting that, part of that may be because they don't want to lose their places.
This must be a big part, I would have thought.
But I think the fact that they showed the spirit that they showed at Villa Park to get back into that game, and okay, they cruelly lost it, but I think there is fight in them, and I think there's players like Granit Xhaka won't let them take their foot off the gas, if you like, in terms of winning these remaining games of the season. And they'll also want to try and get as high a points total as they can in their first season back in the Premier League. It'd be interesting, because Regis yesterday was asked about second season syndrome, and he didn't know what it meant. So
let's hope he continues to not know what it means.
And that had to be explained to him. But I think we can worry about that next season and see what the recruitment's like in the summer, and who goes, who comes in, and so on. But at the moment, I think everybody is still basking in the sort of reflected glory of what has been a very, very good season. And
yes,
they've come back into this mini sort of run of 7 games. They've beaten Tottenham. They're unlucky not to get something at Villa. They're now facing a Forest team who are going to be playing in a European semi-final next week on Thursday. Have they got half an eye on that? Probably not, because it's so far away. But they're unbeaten in 7. I mean, I did speak to someone downstairs earlier from Forest, and they said, we're still not playing very well, but it'll be interesting to see, what Forest look like tonight, bearing in mind the results they have been getting.
Well, we'll talk a bit more about them later. You talk about basking then. It's a good evening for basking, a lovely sunny evening. I don't know if are you a basker, Benno? Are you basking in glory, or are you thinking no?
Busker.
No, well, you could. What would you sing?
What would I sing? Well, there's only one song I'll sing, obviously Bob Marley.
Ah, right, okay. Which is your favourite then?
Oh, the old album, Exodus.
Yeah, right, you did the whole lot.
One Love, 3 Little Birds, whatever it is.
Okay. I tell you what then, if Sunderland qualify for Europe, will you sing a Bob Marley song live on air?
Right. And will you sing a song as well?
I'll join in with you. Can I do that?
Yes, we'll sing a song together.
We'll do a duet.
And weather forecast again. That's what I want.
Well, you can do that too if you want. It's going to be warm, sunny, hopefully, this evening. And yeah, in terms of, you were at the game against Villa, obviously, and you saw how they played there. They probably played with a bit more freedom, with the pressure being off a bit, got back into the game, could easily have won it. I mean, it bodes well in terms of the fact that they scored 3 goals away from home. Goal scoring had been a little bit of an issue, hadn't it? What are you expecting from them tonight, Benno?
Well, it's interesting, when you talk about picking and choosing, really, okay, we're going to survive in the Premier League. We've got to establish ourselves now and make sure that we an out Premier League team. And again, it's a case of, when are you ready for Europe? That is a big question, because we had this, shall we say, scenario last season, didn't we? That people were saying that we weren't ready for the Premier League.
Yes.
Now, if we do get into Europe, then there will be changes, won't there?
Yeah.
You look at the recruitment team, who they're going to bring in, and then, you will have to have a bigger squad. That's for sure.
It's also not just, funny enough, I had a conversation earlier when I arrived here with some of the staff behind the scenes. And what we don't realise, a lot of people don't realise, is the sheer amount of extra staff they've got in the Premier League, let alone Europe. Now, the security staff, all the players, there's a a protection squad, if you like, of stewards for the players.
Yes.
They have to go and recce all the opposition grounds. I was chatting to one of the stewards who's just come back from Wolves. They've had to go to Wolves this week to look at Molineux and see how that impacts on Sunderland and what they'll need to go to Sun and so on. All that has to come. It's got to be factored into the European equation in terms of travel.
The whole infrastructure.
The whole infrastructure has got to be, and at the moment, this club is not quite there. It's still got quite a lot of work to do to even bring it up to Premier League levels, let alone European levels as well.
They might need to. Well, let's hear from Regis Lebris on that, amidst all this talk of Sunderland possibly reaching Europe this season. Regis Lebris was asked if Sunderland are indeed ready for European football.
We never know. We never know. It's a